Alright. Alright. Welcome back. Welcome back to Throwback. Excuse me. Once I start talking, my voice be going crazy. But welcome back to Throwback. I'm your host, Sherm, or your guide. And it was funny, interesting today, right? I was talking to two homeboys, right? And one homeboy call was like, yo, Sherm, I be watching the show, man. And, you know, because you kind of like pivoting away really telling stories about how it have and all that, right? Maybe you should think about changing the name, right? And it was funny because I was thinking the same thought, like maybe I should, because remember the last episode, I was like, maybe I change it or whatever, right? So I'm thinking that thought from a couple, for a while, and then talking to my man, I'm like, maybe that's what so after we hung up, I'm like, and I was going to call somebody. I was going to call my son, Shane, Sherwin, one of them, or whatever, or whoever, right? And toss the idea across them. I was like, nah, leave heads alone, right? Because it's 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock I'm doing this right now, right? So then 11 o'clock, my homeboy called me, Larry, Bezo, shout out to Larry, from 193. Called me like, yo, what up, Sherm? Just wanted to reach out to you, say what up, woo, 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 woo. So we start talking and everything. And I mentioned the show, the name changed to him. And he said, yo, Sherm, I was thinking the same thing when I was watching it. But then he said, yo, to me it worked. He said it worked. He said, I like the way you do a little bit back in the days. Plus you do talk about now and this and this and that. He said, so it work. He said, so, my opinion, go with that. So I'm like, so I guess it'll be still a debate. What's the name? Boo, 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 boo. Right? Whatever. So, but he said the one thing he did say was, be yourself, be real, don't bullshit, don't lie. Excuse my French. I'm trying to get better. Right? So, we got a wonderful show tonight for y'all. I did some researching. I was up 2, 3 in the morning looking up information and stuff like that, right? So, and I got dressed up for the occasion, right? Because I'm going to be talking about some real good stuff today, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is I listened to the whole entire mountaintop speech. Martin Luther King's last speech he gave before he was assassinated, right? That's the speech that they don't really show you. They don't talk about. That's the show they don't promote. The speech, that they don't promote. Because in this one, Martin Luther King sounded a lot different than the earlier Martin Luther King. In this speech, he was still mad at Bull Durham, the racist police commissioner or chief, the chief of police or whatever, was with the dogs and all that and the water hoses. So yeah, he was still with that. And he was in Memphis. And he was talking about how, even, we talking in the 60s, how the black nation, he said black America is one of the richest nations in the world. And at the time, he said, our economic spending power exceeds France. He was naming a couple of countries. France, Italy. He was talking about our economic spending power in the 60s, right? This is his last speech, right? So, He said his ethics, because you gotta look at stuff. You can't just hear stuff. You gotta look at stuff. So he talking about economic spending power back in the 60s, and in that speech he started talking about, yeah, we gonna boycott that guy, that racist guy, but he said we gonna stop buying Coca-Cola, we gonna stop buying that newspaper that was supporting them, and there was a couple of other businesses he named. That's what King was saying. He was talking about that's how you heard him. And remember I was saying that earlier. I hadn't even saw this speech. I forgot about it. I seen it before, but I forgot about it. So in my earlier episodes, what I was telling you, that's how you heard them. You heard them in their pockets. Remember that. You heard them in their pockets. You know, you're not going to hurt them with protesting. Protesting is only going to do but so much. Maybe annoy them, irritate them, or whatever the case may be, right? So, and I just wrote down some of the other things that he said. You know, we are determined. We are the children of God. See, the Jews would have a problem with that because they feel they the children of God. And I see now, even today, you had Trump. I don't like doing politics. I really don't. But today you had, or recently you had Trump. He trying to play Jews against blacks, Jews against Democrats, or whatever. So now this is what's going to happen. Because he want to stay in office, whether he feel like that or not, I ain't even going to get into his feelings. We just going to look at the maneuver. So the maneuver that he's going to attempt now is try to divide. If he divide us some kind of way, get the Jews against this or this. And so I came up with the thought that if all of us brown people stick together, it don't matter what they do, they gonna lose. If Latinos and blacks and all of us stick together and vote him out, he'll be out, no matter what they do. But if go for the smoke and the mirrors and the tricks, he gonna win. Period. We don't even get into the topic or this or this or that. Look at the whole thing. At the end of the day, if you want him out, you got to vote him out. If you find a reason to vote for him or not to vote for somebody else, that's on you. For real. Remember, it's a choice. It's a choice. What we got? Yeah. And this was another thing that make sure that he put out there. One of the tactics he mentioned too. One of the tactics that Pharaoh, he was talking about going back in time and all of this, and you know, if he could go back to time, where would he stop at and what would he want to see, like that, right? And so that way I'm paraphrasing. So you ain't got to watch the speech. I could break it down for you, summarize it, right? Summarize it. You know, in closing, so yeah, so he said he wanted to make sure he brought up Pharaoh and the things that Pharaoh did to keep the slaves fighting amongst themselves. This is what Pharaoh did. Kept the slaves fighting amongst each other, because the first step in freedom, the first step out of slavery is sticking together. Remember that. And that's why I say we got to stick together. Because I ain't saying we enslaved. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying our conditions haven't changed too much. Our conditions since slavery has not changed. If you listen to the stuff he was talking about, some of that stuff still hasn't changed. So, from that standpoint, we got to start sticking together. Be ready for battle. Yeah, these are the words that King was talking about. Then he was made sure he threw a shot at preachers. He reached out to mentioned the preachers that was on the front line with him, and this and this and that. And he made sure he mentioned them, because he said those were some of the ministers that wasn't all about themselves. He also made sure to mention that some ministers is just out for themselves. Yeah, this is a really good read. So, from that, right, I was like, all right, let's look at the and matter of fact, it wasn't even me. That's not how I got on the topic. It was my son Shane. Plug Shane. I ain't even gonna say shout out. Plug Shane. Shane was the plug on this one. Shane said, yo, Dad, check into this speech that this brother was giving about the Sacramento situation. So they killed the brother in Sacramento last year. I wrote his name down. Stefan. I don't want to get it wrong. But they killed the brother. I'll look for his name. But they killed the brother last year in Sacramento, right? Stefan Clark, right? And so they let the guy off. The cop gets off, of course. And so 84 protesters, they go out there and they protest and everything. And they get arrested, right? Still can't make this up. See, I told you, protesting don't matter. You peaceful. And so anyway, where was I at? They said, dude, you got to get better at your stories. So, okay, so the 84 people get arrested. So I'm watching this guy go off about the treatment and talking to the city council and all that, right? And so he going off, lighting into him. But then he mentioned something in there that made me go, And what he mentioned was the training that the police departments are getting. And it's the Jewish Israeli military training. That's what was the word that got my attention in there. I'm like, the police departments are training with the Israeli military force? I wonder how many police departments are doing that. Because we all see, since Black Lives Matter came out, which I'll get back to that Black Lives Matter situation and some of my interactions with even the leader. I got blocked by him on Twitter. I'll get into that later. But so I wanted to look at the military, how they changed up the police tactics in the United States since Black Lives Matter came on the scene, and they started taking the old surplus of military vehicles that the government had, and they started selling it or giving to the military departments around the country. And all they did was just painted them black or whatever. And some times they leave them the color that the military gave it to them. And so now they got this military equipment. We need to learn how to use it. So instead of getting trained by our United States, they went to the Israeli military. So I started looking it up. Hundreds of them, y'all. Hundreds of federal, state, local, and some campus law enforcement departments have all trained across the country, have trained in some capacity with the Israeli military, right? Yeah, shout out to Shane. And so I was looking, I was like, I gotta find this list. Yes. So we found the list. And of course, Chicago, Chirac, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all about words. It's all about words. Just like the war on drugs. See, by saying that you having a war, even whether it's drugs or now they even got a term called criminal terrorists or whatever like that, where they trying to take regular crimes and turn it into a terroristic type of action. And so that way they'll be justified in showing up in a military style tactics. So Chicago, of course, Baltimore, where they killed the brother. They handcuffed the brother and back and threw him in the truck, and he killed himself. St. Louis. Remember, St. Louis was one where it all started from. And then but then you also gotta remember that the Soroses and all that pump money into this and all of this. So it was, to a certain extent, all of that stuff was choreographed and staged by both sides. It was staged. Del Rey, Mendelsohn, and all of that. He ended up in a condo and all of that shit down the road, and Soros's condo, getting money and all of that bullshit. And I get back to the police department. I got to talk about this one. So when the Ferguson first jumped off, right? When Ferguson first jumped off, I was on Twitter a lot, and so I was talking to the guy King. King is on Twitter. He go by King Seals or something like that, right? But he was one of the first the brothers that was really out there when the Ferguson joint happened. When it first happened, he was out there before the cameras. Once the cameras came, Del Rey, little vest dude, he got there, and because King Seals was a strong brother, braids, in the neighborhood. I think he was a rapper, might have been, I'm not sure, but so that's the image they don't want. Del Rey, he fit the image they want. That's the image they wanted to portray. But anyway, as far as who they was gonna have as the focal point of the spearhead of Ferguson all of a sudden. So it go from these brothers that did the groundwork and started it to this guy swoop in at the last minute and get placed in front and cut all of them guys out. Now, I ain't hating on that. I don't care. Do you. That's what they all do. Sharpton. I remember when Jesse Jackson, they tried to buy Jesse Jackson so he wouldn't run for president no more. So they gave him mayor of D.C. or whatever the case may be. Not saying that was a bribe or nothing like that, but I'm just saying, they always find a way to hush people up. They haven't hushed Farrakhan up. You know what I mean? But they find a way to hush our black leaders up. They give them a show, they give them money, they do something and appease them, and they cool. They quiet up, or the message get controlled. But anyway, so whatever. So that's not the part I had an issue with him about, right? So the same brother, me and him used to talk, and we would be going. You could look up my Twitter too. It's just back there. So me and him was going in about D-Ray. Next thing you know, the brother ended up murdered. I'm not lying, y'all. The brother ended up murdered out there in St. Louis and shit. Out there murdered, burnt up. They said a car was seen driving his car up there and all this shit. They ain't even investigated. That wasn't the bad part. Because I ain't trying to even imply Del Rey had nothing to do with nothing like that, right? I ain't trying to say that. But what I am saying is, once the brother was dead, now you coming and speaking on the brother? Now you coming and trying to use his death now in another kind of way? You done already won, Jesse Smollett. You done already won, and you coming back doing more fuck shit. So I went in on him on Twitter. I went in on him, so of course I got blocked. But that's why I wanted to say that, man. So yeah, so I've been talking. I was trying to give advice. So back to the police departments that use this force. So now when they started using the force in this military, the Israeli military style tactics, remember they start with the tear gas and rubber bullets. Just like the Israeli military do it, right? So now, you had you had Palestinian brothers. I had to write this one down because I was shocked at this one. You had Palestinian brothers tweeting from over there, telling the brothers over here in Ferguson how to minimize the effects of the tear gas. And the special kind of gas they use is called skunk water. They like to use skunk water. So now think about it. The brothers, you be seeing it on TV, how it be, and they be fighting and all that, and how it be going down there. That's where they want to learn their tactics from and shit. Word. They treat us all the same, man. They treat us all the same. You got color, man. They treat you all the same, man. New York City had an NYP has a Muslim surveillance program. They have, and I wrote that down because it ties into because New York City is on the list. New York City is on the list. So, and they have, New York City has a Muslim surveillance program. Not a terrorist, a Muslim surveillance program, right? And then they got the new word that they calling it. They calling it crime, drop the E, put an I there, and make terrorists on the end. So New York City is, like I said, they trying to justify it. Now here go more states that's on there, on the list. You got Florida, you got New Jersey, you got Pennsylvania, you got California, you got Arizona, Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, North Carolina, Georgia, GA, I was going to say Georgia, GA, Washington State, as well as DC Capitol Police. They are all brown states. All people with the brown states. Yeah. That's where's your Montanas, your Utahs, and your Wyomings at and all of that. They not on it. Durham banned it. Durham, North Carolina banned it. Atlanta, they trying to get it banned. Remember, it's a war on drugs. And our taxpayer dollars, the police force getting trained on our taxpayer dollars. Oh, here's one I wanted to get into, right? I be talking to my son all the time about stuff. And so I be mentioning emotional thinking, right? Logical thinking or critical thinking or level-headed thinking as opposed to emotional thinking, right? And see, so I want to break it down what my opinion or how I see it when I say emotional thinking. Is you see the situation for what you feel it should be or what you hope it would be or would like it to be as opposed to what it actually really is. You know what I mean? Like, I wish they was paying me like this. Or then you look at it, what are they really? Are they gonna ever really pay you anything? You know what I mean? How long have you look? You gotta ask yourself realistic questions and answer them realistically. So I mean, if you get into the emotional stuff, you know what I mean. And I say all that to say, when I said about the sensitivity thing and emotional thing and all that, because I was raised by a single mother. My mother raised us. You know what I mean? Did a good job. Used to punch me in the nose when she had to. Punish me, whoop me, discipline me, whatever she had to do. You know what I mean? So she wasn't soft on me at all. But I still was raised by a woman. And I acknowledge that fact. So, a lot of you other men out there, y'all need to acknowledge the fact that you was raised by a woman. And I say that to say not that that's a bad thing. And I know sisters, y'all can raise, y'all know I heard it too. Oh, I could raise it. I'm single and I could raise a black man and all this. Yes, you can. But some of the emotional and mental parts of the stuff, he would do a lot better off if he had a man around. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, and I say that to say, all the guys that was raised by their moms, their auntie, big sis, nana, girlfriend, whomever, you gotta really take a look at yourself. And sometimes could you have dialed that down a little bit? You know what I mean? Cause a lot of reactions to the situations you see in the streets and stuff like that, and shootings over little small stuff. It's like you go from A to Z. It's like not even rational. Word. You gotta be honest. Okay, so, in my white privilege watch for today, we got some good stuff. Now, somebody told me that I should do a deep dumpster dive on this individual because I didn't go hard enough on him or whatever. So, I'm going to call it a dumpster dive because who wants to read this stuff? These guys is who wants to read this stuff. Nobody wants to read this stuff. So I'm gonna chop it up for y'all so y'all don't. But look, Hugh Hefner, the Playboy Mansion, a Playboy guy. So now it was an unwritten rule that everybody that stayed in the house had to sleep with Hef. Just about everybody slept in the house, or girlfriends or whatever had to sleep with wow. I'm just thinking about him. All wrinkly with the Viagra. Golly. Alright. So cool. So she and it's funny. So instead of saying rape, when they was talking about the stories and describing it, they called it forced sexual acts. I was like, ain't that rape though? What's the difference between a forced sexual act and rape? But you know, and that he exploited women for his personal, professional, and sexual gain. Yeah. Playboy bunnies had to sleep together. This is the sub. Playboy bunnies had to sleep together even if they weren't gay. That they had no choice. So one girl called it brainwashing, glorified escorting. You know, he gave quaaludes. He gave quaaludes to his girls. You know, and so when they asked him about quaaludes, he gave quaaludes to one of the girlfriends, right? And so when they asked him about it, this is what he said. I don't normally approve of drugs, but it was the 70s and they called them thigh openers. That's what they called the drugs that he gave the girl to help her open her thighs. But he's not in jail. This was a good one. He got in the Playboy Mansion, in all of the bedrooms, the bathrooms, the tennis courts, the steam rooms. They got a creepy little tray with 3 things in it, 3 items, y'all. Yeah, no, not condoms. I thought condoms too. No, not condoms. Baby oil, Vaseline, and Kleenex tissue. Kleenex? That's a sex cult. They had a 9 p.m. curfew. Sex nights was described as, this was the sex nights, y'all. This was the sex nights. Sex nights was all of his girlfriends at one time, which would number from anywhere from 3 to 15 girls. They would stand around his bed, and they would act like they doing their thing, and while he in the middle of the bed, puffing a joint and getting ready for everybody had to take their turn with him real quick, and he did that it was 2 nights a week he did that. I think it was Wednesday and Friday. It was the 2 nights he did that. I was like, wow. With his Viagra and all that, wow. He experimented with homosexuality. In the end, they said he didn't even know how many women he slept with, how many women he slept with. He couldn't even tell you. Okay, so let's do a little throwback. Let's watch how this throwback thing works. Check it out now, right? So I was talking to my boy Lai, and we was talking about respect and like what can we do? Like I said, we just try to have conversations. What can we do? What can I do? What can we do collectively, individually to get the respect back from, say, how teenagers looked at adults and vice versa, and older adults say, and like, how can we get that back? Like, how can we get that village feeling back in our communities? And this way it come to throwback, right? So he was telling me about an incident, he in the store and the kids, how they this and that. Back in our days, throwback, when it was the black guy running the supermarket, the grocery store on Ralph Avenue, and the Spanish guy, and Puerto Ricans. We shout out to my Puerto Rican brothers. So it was really pretty much black and Hispanic growing up in Brooklyn back when I was coming up like that or whatever. That had the stores. It was either that, right? So you go to the store or whatever, and just about every store in the neighborhood, you had credit in there. Your moms had credit, or they knew your moms. So if you went in there and you needed something more credit for $1 or something, you get it. You get some chips or something like that, or a juice or something like that, or whatever. You know what I mean? And you didn't have, we wasn't cursing adults out. You know what I mean? Because you get better treatment from adults if you acted nicer. That's just the way it is. But then you also got to look at it from the standpoint of, if you raise your kid to be, if you one of them parents that raise your kid to be kind of selfish or don't care about nobody else's opinion but yours and things like that and that nature, stuff like that, and so you contribute, you got to be honest, you contributed too. So we can't just say that it's all on the younger guys. They just gotta, the younger people, they gotta fall in line and respect us. You gotta be worthy of being respected. You can't be carrying yourself in a way that don't warrant them respecting you. You know what I mean? If you want to be their friend, you gonna be their friend. I always would tell my kids, it's not my job to be your friend. My job is to help you to be the best you could be. If you end up liking me and all that, and we friendly, great. But if not, and you still successful, I'ma be good. If you don't like me but you successful, I'm good. I did my job. People can't take a joke no more. We used to rank people out. I was talking to the twin, right? We was talking about Troy back in the days and shit, right? And then we was talking about the show Everybody Hates Chris, right? Chris Rock, Tony Rock, Everybody Hates Chris, right? And so we was talking about, I was like, yeah, I was outside with the guys that hated Chris. We see him driving by in the little red car, shit. He could, that's why that show was funny. That show was funny because he really was under pressure. He couldn't hang out there like that. It just wasn't that easy for him, wasn't that safe. That's why shout out, rest in peace, Dirt Bike Mike. That's why he ended up getting Dirt Bike Mike, the bodyguard, and protect him from the wolves. Told you, when the wolves hungry and they want to eat, the wolves will eat. The wolves will eat. Word up. Let's go back to some other stuff. This was a brand new book, right? This was a brand new book. I bought 5 of them. Larry was getting on me. I'm still rocking the old school. Yup, still rocking the old school, right? So, hashtag Me Too movement. Let's discuss that. I've been wanting to get this one off my chest for a while, right? Now, I'm not saying I don't support women's rights and none of that dumb, stupid shit. That's dumb shit to say that I'm even saying that. This is what I'm saying. The hashtag Me Too movement was started by mostly white women that was getting abused in the movie entertainment industry, in the business, in the workplace, and all of that type of stuff by powerful white men. Listen to me. The Me Too movement was started by white women and the LBG gay white women for white men in power. Now, some kind of way, it start bleeding into. I'm not saying that no black men don't rape women and don't sexually assault women. That's stupid to say I'm saying that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is those were two separate things. In some kind of way, we be letting them drag us in the shit. And now they got the Me Too movement on R. Kelly. They on motherfucking Michael Jackson. And I'm like, yo, that's not. R. Kelly is something different. R. Kelly is something different. You know what I mean? R. Kelly is something different. If R. Kelly is a sex cult, then Hugh Hefner is too. I'm not defending R. Kelly. I know R. Kelly is wrong. What R. Kelly did was wrong. What I'm always gonna look at is the treatment. The treatment. How they he's guilty. R. Kelly, I'm even saying he's guilty. He's guilty. But he's supposed to be presumed innocent to proven guilty. That's what he's supposed to be given, the benefit of the doubt. But okay, you don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Okay, I don't want to give him the benefit of the doubt either. Whatever. But it's not fair. It's not fair. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about. This new phenomenon of men wanting to live on people's couches. I was talking to a sister girl the other day, and you got a dude living with her, 40 years old, 40 plus years old, living with her, right? I know, sister, y'all jumping up and down right now. Get him, brother. So, the brother, 40 years old, living with her. She got a son that's 18. He barely gives her $200 a month. He wants to damn near split her room in half, junk all over the place. Now got his daughter coming in and shit, and she breaking up shit and she was talking to me, and I was just so frustrated. And I'm like, damn, come on, man. Like, part of being a man is working. Part of working, you know, you want to have, even if it's a room. I had rooms before. But when you're a man and you weighing down a woman, come on. Where they gotta go and get you out of their crib. And then you try to stay around till you line up the next couch to go stay on. Come on. And she been dealing with it. And my thing is, I just be ready to kick her head out. I don't know. It's just that, and that goes to the other thing, man. House guests. Like house guests, like, you never want to overstay your welcome. You never want to overstay your welcome. You never want to damage the relationship of somebody that was nice enough to let you go. You know what I'm saying? I be like, some of the stories I be hearing, man, and to be like, I don't get it. And then so that gets to the next question. In the same breath, you go, well, why can't we live together? We should be able to live together, right? Right? We should be able to Somebody got a house, 6, 7, 8 of us live together. Everybody pay their fare, they way equally. We pull together equally. Everybody treat each other with respect equally. Everybody be honest and not just, I want to be honest and tell you what I feel, but I don't want to hear nothing you got to say. You can't be that kind of honest. That ain't going to help. But we supposed to be able to get together, stick together, live together, build together, and so then the next one branch out and get something. And then we do the same thing. That's what we not doing no more. We not doing. I seen other races, and I ain't gonna call them out ethnicities, other ethnicities or whatever. I seen since I've been down in North Carolina, I seen them take they'll start one store in that spot, and then next thing you know, you got 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 stores, and they doing their thing and they thriving. We not doing that. We just not doing that. We not keeping our money with us, and then we not giving each other a fair break when we decide to get these businesses. That's the other thing. Like okay, as well as you want them to pay you, but it got to be fair. You got to be fair. You know what I mean? And then the other thing, be realistic. As well as being fair, being realistic. Hey, maybe in the beginning you shouldn't be expecting a crazy big payoff, and more about, yo, I'm trying to build my clientele up. Once I build my clientele up and I explain be honest with people, but we gotta get back together, man. We gotta get it back together, man. Word. I wrote mad stuff down. Wrote mad stuff down. Mad stuff. Yeah. Jesse Jackson. You know, Jesse Jackson. He said, what does he say? We had to redistribute the pain. I like that quote. He said, we had to redistribute the pain. The garbage man been feeling the pain all the while, so now we got to make up the stream feel the pain. I like that. And that's what I'm saying. They saying this is Jesse Jackson saying something like this back in the 70s. And we still feeling pain, y'all. We still feel the pain. I know I felt pain when the brother talking about the military tactics and all that. That shit had me up for falling asleep, trying to do my little investigation, my little, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we still feeling pain. Martin Luther King, this is why they killed him though. This is why they assassinated him. He was talking about a black bank, a black savings and loan, a black insurance company. He would and apply pressure. That's what he was talking about, applying financial pressure. Financial pressure. That's why they don't want to talk about this. They want to just tell you about the marching part of the protesting. But no, King was about his money too. He was about his money. And he owned houses and property in Atlanta. You can't be not about your money, not about being smart. So he was about his money. He knew how to hurt him. You hurt him with money. Word. And so he, you know, another thing he said that it stood out to me. That's why I got dressed up. That's why I got dressed up. Even thought I looked kind of like I'm in the 60s with the little shirt and a hat, you know. But anyway, so he said, either we go up together, brother, or we go down together, brother. Golly. I was getting inspired. I was getting inspired. Word up. Look, he called them our sick white brothers. And I put LOL. Like, even King know, like, and that's undeniable. We all know that life started in Africa. It's undeniable. That we ain't even gonna get into. So, but yeah, maybe I get into that later on. But our sick little white brothers, I was like, boom. Oh! I almost forgot. I knew it was, it'd be something, and see, now that's why I got new books. So when I start a show, I have a new book with all of the stuff I've been writing down. And I wrote the whole book up. I wrote the whole book, almost the whole book, one show. So, Black Wall Street. See, so now this is how I tied in. So we talking about King talking about financial pressure and black insurance companies and all of that stuff. Enter Black Wall Street. Now, Black Wall Street was in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where we was thriving. They bombed it. They straight bombed it. And they straight bombed it. They straight bombed it. They killed 300 people. 300 people, over 2,000 people out of their homes and burnt it down to the ground, right? And I bring up Black Wall Street just to tell you that, one, see, even when we being peaceful and minding our business, that's one. And two, that they know when we have the money and they leave us alone, we could thrive. They know that. They know that. They know that. That's why they got all of these different things. And you know, that's why, you know, they can't just come in the hood and blow us up no more. No, they can't do that. So what did they do when we was striving? I told you in the 70s, I used to look up to wanting to be an adult. And not look up to the adults, but I used to look forward. That's the better way of saying it. I used to look forward to wanting to be an adult. Because I would say, man, it's wonderful, man. We got black stores, black love, you know, the block party. So, yeah. Then they pump crack into the hood. They pump crack into the hood. That show Snowfall, they pump crack into the hood. And they do this for a reason. They got crack in the hood. They got the military police force in the hood. They got all of the liquor stores in the hood. They got the insurance prices the highest in the hood. They got they tried to put HIV in the hood. They tried to put that in the hood, but that backfired. So, but I say all that to say that they know if left alone and not bothered, we'll thrive. We'll do our thing. We'll come. If they didn't leave us alone, we'll come up. We'll figure it out. We'll find a way. And so that's what they scared of. And so yeah, so I think about it when people tell me things like be careful and this or that or whatever the case may be. You know, I know when you decide to step out front, that's what it's going to be. And I've always been comfortable with stepping out front, being in the spotlight, and I definitely know that, you know, this is definitely needed. I don't know if it's gonna help, but I know I needed to say it, even if it's just for me, because I know I be feeling better, and I know a lot of people I be talking to be saying, yeah, you was right, you was talking some real shit with what you was saying and all that. So I know I'm not the only one feeling like this. And like I said, all I want to do is have us starting to look at these situations. That's all I'm saying. Look at the situations. Pay attention to the situations. Look at the whole situation, how it play out down the road. Look at how you could change things that need to be changed, how you could change first yourself, because you got to start within first. You can't be one of them people going around telling everybody you got all the advice and you could fix everybody else's life and you could point out and see what the problem is with him and her, but not with you. You can't be that guy. I know a lot of them people. They oh yeah, this person and that and this and that, they could do all that, but they can't fix them. All right? So yeah, so this is the things I'm saying do. This is what I'm saying doing. I want y'all to be paying attention out there, y'all. Paying attention and think. Don't let the rational, emotional response be the thing that you go to all the time. Yeah, sometimes it's warranted. Sometimes it's not. You know what I mean? And that's my show. Hopefully y'all like this one. I know it had a different vibe to it, and I'm not trying to get on no preachy stuff. I feel like, yo, this just talk. This is just common sense talk, man. This regular talk. But all right, yo, love y'all. Talk to y'all soon.